Back on the freighter, London is looking in the porthole of a well-lit stateroom where some of the scum of the earth are dividing up the spoils of crime. Head of the table sits Jack L. Diamond, standing behind him, Rocco. To his right, the Tigress, and across from her, Captain Ralston. On the other end of the table, with two frogs surrounding him, is none other than Ralston's pal and favorite fence, Frenchie the Frog.
Well now, Frenchie, me lad, are ye sure this is the real McCoy we be sitting eyes on?
Oui, that is an original statue of Bast from the Southern Kingdom before unification of Egypt. I would stake my considerable reputation on it.
You're staking more than that on it, if you're wrong, Pally.
No need for threats. We be all friends here, we be.
Maybe.
The captain's right. We need to start discussing how to fence this lovely pair.
I think you would get more money for them as a set.
Aye, that may be true enough. But wouldn't they be harder to trace if you sold them individually?
This pair should not be divided again.
Kitty, this is no time to be sentimental.
Just then, London gets a little dizzy, slips on a rope, knocking over some boxes. They hit the deck with a... Rocco flies into action, pulling London into the stateroom, holding her in a grip of iron.
Looky what the cat's dragged in.
Sacre bleu! Who is this?
That skirt is Phillip Penguin's little chickie, Millicent Farthington.
She is not worthy of him. She should die.
Me old blade here can fix that for you right now.
Not so fast there, Popeye. We all thought this dame was pushing daisies already. I, for one, would like to know why she ain't.
I'll tell you nothing.
Now I ask ye, is that any attitude to be taken, especially to a man with a long, sharp blade?
While that old pirate Ralston pulled out his sword to threaten London with, Diamond took Rocco aside, whispering,
I don't like this. That dame could have had plenty of time to signal Penguin. For all we know, you get the car, bring it around front. I'll come up with an excuse to take a powder before any trouble starts.
Anything you say, boss.
Rocco handed off London to one of Frenchie's hoods, then made a beeline for the door.
Where is your man going?
He just remembered an appointment I'm late for elsewhere. So, Captain Ralston,
Aye.
I'm leaving you in charge of negotiations. Also dealing with that spy over there. Get that, folks? What the captain says goes.
Lieutenant Monster and I drive up to Pier 45 in his patrol car. Just as we spot the Enola Gay, a black sedan drives past us on its way out. I'm too focused to notice it's my favorite nightclub owner and his trained stooge, hot-footing it out of the dockyard.
Otis, come in. Sergeant Otis, report.
Got it, boss. There are 2 squad cars on the way. ETA 5 minutes max.
We might not have 5 minutes. Phil and I are sneaking on board now. When you get here, come in hot. We may need you.
No problem. On the way. Over and out.
There was no way of telling just how little time we actually had. Ralston was advancing on London with his sword as she was being held tight by both Frenchie's hench frogs. Besides Ralston stood a bloodthirsty tigress cheering him on. Also, Frenchie headed back to the table to admire the merchandise just one more time.
Oh, me fine beauty. 'Tis a great shame to scar that pretty face.
This should be fun.
You want fun, sweetie? Have these big apes let go of me. I guarantee it will be a party.
Will you please do the deed quickly? I would like to get back to discussing these exquisite historical treasures.
Ye heard the man. Me hands be tied. Business always comes first.
London struggled against Frenchie's bully frogs. while the sea rat advanced on her with his large, sharp cutlass. Just as he was about to thrust home, I kicked open the door.
You shot me favorite big sticker right from me hand. For that, you will pay.
And he dived, tackling me to the ground, causing my gun to go skittering across the room.
Let go of London, you toad torpedoes.
Wow, Lieutenant! You knocked one cold with a beautiful right cross while stunning the other with a left hook. Good show!
Then I tossed Ralston off of me, slamming him into a nearby wall.
Mon Dieu! It's time I took my leave.
Frenchie bolts for the door. When exiting the room, he sees Sergeant Otis. His cops taking over the ship.
What farm?
The frog tries to pull his gat from his jacket, but it's too late as Otis fires. The French frog takes 2 in the chest. He hits the deck in a lifeless heap. Back in the stateroom, I mop up the other 2 French thugs with a right-left combo to the gut, chest, and jaw.
Look out, Phil. Tigress got your gun.
And London. Ralston took one of the statues, jumped back through the door. Tigress took London. Firing my gun, she plugs me in the shoulder to cover her escape.
Phil, how bad is it?
The pain was ridiculous, but I was not about to let it slow me down, so I lied. You go get Ralston. I'll save London.
Okay.
Monster ran one way, me the other. Halfway down the deck, he caught up with Ralston, trying to lower a lifeboat to escape. Lieutenant Monster shot 2 over his head, freezing him in place.
All right. I be raising me hands, bucko. I remember what a good shot you be.
Put the statue on the deck. Now.
Here it is. I not be one for testing your aim.
Ralston was had and he knew it too. The crew was all but beaten by Sergeant Otis's boys. Lieutenant Monster had him dead in his sights, so he didn't even put up a fight when Cookie cuffed him.
What happened to you? The Captain Ralston I knew was both a right guy and a pal.
'Tis true. I was that. But then, me compass went awry.
Lieutenant Monster was handing him over to the victorious officers when Ralston turned to look at him with some regret, saying,
There was a point, matey, where I began to think the other side paid better. But I guess I was mistaken.
Meanwhile, I was chasing the Tigress, bleeding like a stuck pig all the way. If she didn't have to struggle along with London in tow, I never would have caught her.
If you don't stop following us, I'll put a bullet in your head, then hers.
Can't do that. No matter what you do. That gal is all that matters to me now.
You are losing a massive amount of blood. Does your life mean nothing to you?
That gal you're holding is my life. She means everything to me. So I ain't stopping till I save her, no matter how much blood I gotta lose.
Pitiful love-struck fool. You could die with her then.
Just as Tigress pointed a gun at me, London grabs her arm, judo flipping her to the deck. As the Tigress struggles to get up, my gal roundhouse kicks her so hard in the jaw she won't leave the dentist office for a month of Sunday. What a kick! She's gonna be out for a week.
Phillip, I love you.
She says that, runs over to me, gives me the biggest hug in the world. Funny thing is, my shoulder don't hurt while she's doing it. I look into her wonderful kisser and all I can say is, London, you're the greatest. The case was all wrapped up with a neat little bow, except for the one loose thread. This is a walk I was dreading like a death row prisoner walking the Green Mile. I came to the right room in Chicago Memorial and stopped at the door. As I reached for the knob, I gulped. Get it together, Phil. Pain ain't the only thing on the other side of this door. There's also a job to do. As I came in, I saw her sitting there just like the last time. A grieving mother frog watching over her son's sickbed. A sickbed I put him in. She looked up at me, slowly starting to come towards me. I closed the door, took my hat in my hand, and said, "Look, I know I hurt you and your son in a way nobody could make good. I ain't looking for you to forgive me. I just want to help out all I can. I use 90% of my reward dough to cover all the hospital bills and the upcoming therapy expenses. I will break my back if I have to get your boy the best of care and be with him till he's back on his flippers. I owe both of you a debt I can't repay." She gets right up to me, frog snout to beak, and I say, "I know I hurt you. I know I can't make this right, but I ain't going anywhere." Tears. I couldn't keep tears from welling up in my eyes to almost match hers. When I said, "I am sorry for all your pain. Yous can slap me, spit at me, yell at me. I deserve it all. But please, let me help your family." She burst into tears. Then this old frog reared back. I braced for the slap I just knew was coming. And she hugged me.
Thank you. Thank you. You are a good bird. I can't do this alone. I need you.
She buried a gray-haired head in my chest and cried as I hugged her back, saying, "You ain't alone. I'm here, and I ain't going nowhere."